Most people do not reach their dream, not because they fail. Most people do not live their dream because they give up. You see, it is not failure that stops us, but the fact that most people stop at their first failure. The people who win do not stop after one failure. They do not stop after 10 failures. They do not stop after 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000. They say, "This is my goal, and I will do whatever it takes to reach it. I will learn the lessons from every failure. I will learn faster, I will work harder, I will work smarter, and I will not quit until my dream becomes real." That is the difference between success and failure. Failure is a huge part of being able to become successful. You have to get comfortable with failure. You have to actually look for failure. Failure is where all the lessons are. You know, when you go to the gym and work out, you are actually looking for failure. You want to push your muscles to the point where you fail. Because that is where the change happens, that is where growth happens. Successful people fail a lot. They fail more than they succeed. They take the lessons from failure and they use the energy, and they use the wisdom to move into the next stage of success. You have to take a shot. You have to live at the edge of what you can do. You have to live where you are almost sure you are going to fail. The reason for practice is controlled failure. You keep getting to your limit, getting to your limit, getting to your limit. You cannot lift that, you cannot do that, until you get to the point where all of a sudden your body makes the change, and then you can do it. Failure actually helps you see the areas where you need to grow. So fail early, fail often, fail forward. Failure makes winners stronger. Failure makes winners hungrier, but it makes most people give up. It makes most people feel worthless. Winners do not enjoy failure, but they would never let failure stop them. Next time you face failure, you have to remember that every great thing on this planet is here because the Creator learned what worked. But learned even more from what did not work. When we are kids, we do not stop because of failure. When we first learn to ride a bike, it is failure after failure. We fall down again and again, but we get back up and push forward. It is so we can reach our goal of riding the bike. But then we get older, and most of us get weak. We are too soft to get back on the bike. We come up with excuses. It must not be for me. No, you are just soft. No, you are just lazy. Tell yourself the truth. Get back on the bike. Learn why you failed, and make sure you do not fall again. Make sure you are stronger because you learned the lesson. You know, it has always been a little frustrating to me when people have a bad relationship with failure. Fail early, fail often, fail forward. You are here right now at this moment because tomorrow you want to be someone greater than the person you are today. You see yourself winning. You have a vision. You have a dream. Congratulations, you are already 10 steps ahead of 95% of the world. Imagine if Michael Jordan was afraid of missing. He would have never taken a shot. Imagine if Steve Jobs was afraid that people would not like his product. There would be no iPhone. So ask yourself this: do you want to be a person who fears failure, or do you want to be a person who loves success? Which one? You are going to have to choose today, and I will tell you one thing: one is failure and one is success. And if you love success, there is nothing that can stop you. All those negative things people say will mean nothing. They are going to talk about how only 1% make it to the top. Big deal. Want to know something else? Only 1% stick with that fitness program long enough to see results. Only 1% of gamers stick with that video game long enough to get good at it. only 1% of relationships last to the end. That does not mean you have a 1% chance. It just means you cannot act like the 99%. You will have to do something better than giving up a month from now. Those are just numbers. You want to talk about numbers? Take a look around you and really look around. Are you like 99% of the people around you? If you are, then you are watching the wrong video, my friend. You have to love success just as much, because that is what is going to help you get up and go for it. Being afraid to fail will not do anything. In fact, when you love success and you start going after it, guess what happens? You are going to fail. You are going to fail 10 times, 100 times, maybe even 1,000 times, but that is okay. Failure is not forever. Falling is not forever. You get right back up and keep going, and this time you are going to be stronger, wiser, and more driven than ever. And for every 10 failures, you will get 1 success. You have to love success so much that you are willing to fail 10 times before you succeed once. That is how a winner does it. I want to explain the biggest myth that most people think leads them to success, and here is the myth. You might believe that if you are afraid to fail, you will not fail. Set is olygus me bilit. You see, I always thought that being afraid to fail in life would actually keep me from failing. I would look at the losers around me, and I would say, sheesh, I never want to end up like him. I really believed this way of thinking would help me succeed. Until one day, I was walking down the street and I saw an old man. He had a hat, suspenders, and a cane. He was about 80 years old. This old man could barely walk. He could walk, but the cane helped a lot. He was struggling. So anyway, he was walking across the street and he ended up falling, so I went over to help him. He got up, said, "Thank you," and we introduced ourselves. We had a little conversation. He told me his name, and I told him mine. His name was Robert, by the way, and right as he walked away, I told him this is what I said. "Robert, you should stay inside where it is safe, my friend." And Robert turned around and said to me, "I love walking, and I love walking way more than I am afraid of falling." So I asked him, "Well, what about your safety? Don't you want to live?" And he told me this. These are the exact words he said. He said, "Living means doing what you love to do. And if I have to fall here and there to do what I want to do in life, then so be it," and he just walked away. I never saw him again. Set was it. But that statement really got me thinking, and it got me thinking hard, because I learned something that day. That is when I realized the true key to success. You see, I always thought that if I could just fear failure, and if I feared it like crazy, I would succeed because I thought that fear would magically push me to get out there and start taking action. But after that day, I realized something. I realized it is the love for success that will lead me to success. So just imagine this. If Robert feared falling, would he even start walking? Of course not. He would not even do what he loved to do. He would sit at home and take no action at all, but he loved walking. He was not even afraid to fall. It gave him life. That is what allowed him to get up and do it. He loved walking so much, he was willing to fall 10 times a day just to do it. And you have to be the same. So the next time someone tells you, you are going to fail, you know what you tell them? Tell them they are right, but you are not afraid to fail. You are not afraid to take action. You are not afraid to jump. You are going to fail 10 times, but you know what? That is okay, because on the 11th time you will succeed. Oh, You will succeed, all right, and it will feel good. And while you are over here living the life of your dreams in complete happiness, guess where they are going to be? Set is right, they will be the failures, the real failures, over there where it is. Safe, afraid to fail. Ironic, isn't it? You know, a lot of people come up to me and ask me, what is it that motivates you the most? And to answer their question, I answer with a question. I say, what if I told you that you had 1 week left to live? Well, do you regret not chasing your dreams, passions, and desires? Would you regret not living your life to the fullest? Would you regret not spending as much time with your family, friends, or loved ones? You know, Steve Jobs said in a speech one time that he used to wake up every morning, look in the mirror, and ask himself questions like this. And he said that if the answer was yes for too many days in a row, then he knew that he had to change something, and that should be true for all of us. If you are living a life that you would not be okay with losing because you were not able to do the things you wanted to do, then now you know that you need to change something. Life is simply too short and too unpredictable not to live exactly the way you want. It is unbelievably unpredictable. It is possible on any day to die at any moment during that day without ever seeing it coming. You know, when I was 13, I had this teacher who was an absolutely amazing person. I had known him for several years by then, and he had 2 kids, a loving wife. He was a man of faith. He helped the community. He gave us everything he had, and he rode his bike to school every single day. I always remember him coming to school on his bike, and one morning on his way to school, it was early in the morning, he was crossing an intersection. A reckless driver came out of nowhere, hit him, and he died right there on the spot at the moment of impact. His death taught me so many valuable things in life, and one of them was this. It showed me that no matter how much you do not deserve to die, and no matter how good of a person you are, and no matter what your situation is, no matter anything, it shows that death is certain and random, and it will one day take every single one of us. Whether it is in 50 years, in 10 years, next year, or even tomorrow, you cannot control it. The people around, you cannot control it. As long as you are in the wrong place at the wrong time, your whole life could disappear in the blink of an eye, along with everything you wished you could have done. Whether you are walking down the street, whether you are stepping into the elevator, whether you are walking down the stairs, whether you are just existing. Listen, you will see people die out of nowhere from a heart attack gone. No family history, no symptoms, no cause, nothing. It happens, and that is the cruel life we live in, and it is something we cannot control. So what I want to make clear is that no matter what path you take in life, at some point death will come for you. It does not care whether you floss your teeth in the morning, whether you raise a family or not, whether you become rich, poor, a success or a failure. No matter what today, one day, it is that simple. And knowing that you are going to die one day should be the biggest motivation to make the hard decisions in life and to get your butt out of bed in the morning. So now the question becomes, what do you truly have to lose? If you chase your dreams and you fail, sure, you might become a little less stable with money. You might feel stress or other feelings you wish you never had to feel, but either way, even if you fail, you will end up back where you started, which is where you are now. So what do you really have to lose? Some of you right now are thinking about maybe starting a business. You have a great idea that you want to make part of your life. Maybe you are thinking about chasing your dreams fully. Maybe you are thinking about putting in the work to become a doctor, an engineer, a firefighter, or a professional athlete. But some of you will not chase these goals because you are afraid. You are afraid to fail. You let the fear of failure control your actions. And you are afraid of what your mom or dad thinks. You are afraid of what your sister, your brother, your grandpa, your grandma, or your cousins think, or whoever. But what truly matters is you. You have been given a gift. You have a talent, and whatever that talent is, you can make yourself and the people around you stronger and better with it. But sometimes the only way to do that is to take a risk. At some point you have to take a leap if you want to make that gift you have become real. Otherwise, society will gladly accept you as a 9-to-5 slave, working just to pay your rent, stay alive, and live for the weekend, which is the absolute worst way to live. If you do not jump, believe me, if you do not chase your gift, you will live a life full of regret, and your gift, your dreams, everything you ever had to offer the world, will die with you. From my own experience, I am mad at myself. I am mad, and I regret so much in my life, I cannot even explain how much. Not because of what I have done, but because of what I have not done, all the chances I turned down and all the opportunities I never took. Just because I was afraid or because I worried about what other people think. And I officially decided to sit down. I sat down for weeks. I did not just think of what I am saying right now overnight. This is months of thinking, and I just sat down and wrote. And after comparing the randomness of death versus the chance of failing while never giving up on your dreams, versus the chance of living a terrible life because you failed while chasing your dreams, versus just stopping right now and living a normal Western lifestyle, versus everything you can think of, versus absolutely everything. And I can gladly say that right now, at this very moment, I would rather live each day like it were my last and take every risk possible in these precious moments that I have on earth right now, to make myself as successful and happy as possible, than sit on my deathbed when I am 90 years old regretting not taking a chance and thinking about what my life could have been if I had just jumped when I was 18, or when I was 15, or when I was 22, because tomorrow is not promised. I would rather die trying to live my dreams than live a longer life full of regrets. Life is too short and too unpredictable to play it safe. I have seen it myself. It is not worth it to live safe, basic, and traditional. But do you know why most people choose to live that safe life instead of taking risks in their life? I mean, there is a pretty good reason not to. But why would you take a risk that puts you under stress, puts your family under? Stress makes you lose sleep, makes you lose time, makes you do extra work, makes you take crazy chances that are 1 in 1,000. You know, but before I even keep going, the fact that I am even sitting here talking is amazingly crazy all by itself. The chance of you being born is 1 in 400 trillion. That number is so huge, you cannot even understand it. But okay, what I wanted to say was this: the reason why people do not want to take these risks is because right now they feel like they have a lot to lose, and that their current situation is pretty nice, and most importantly, right now, they are comfortable. They got used to living basic by society's standards, hanging out with their friends every now and then, being more rested. They got comfortable, and when you get comfortable, you do not want to move, and that comfort's like to call it the danger zone, because this comfort zone will convince you to stay there for as long as possible. And it is, I know how it is. I know the comfort zone, it is so convincing. It is so hard to escape comfort, I know. And as it keeps convincing you to stay there, you will literally, without even noticing, see. I am so serious when I say this, you will literally watch your whole life pass right by you. And the main reason I am serious about this now is because I am fired up for greatness. I want to move mountains, and like Ray Lewis once said, if you are not fired up for greatness, then you are okay with being average. And I am definitely not okay with being average, and I do not think anyone should be. But anyway, the reason I am even talking about all of this in the first place is because I recently got an offer to move to Los Angeles, California, to live, with 2 other business owners as a content creator and media influencer. And it makes me sad because it opened my eyes to see what I truly have waiting for me, what is waiting for me out there in the future. And it is just a tiny look at what I can achieve in my short life. However, I doubt that I could get the right legal papers done in order to move to the US to work for a job like YouTube, which is really not controlled by the government. And the last thing I want to do is go to the US to work an illegal job as an illegal immigrant. So right now, I feel like I have to pass up yet another opportunity. And it makes me feel like I am letting my dreams slip through my hands once again. And now that I have seen the reality of what is possible, this house in LA next to the beach in California with the huge city, great weather, and working a job that I would absolutely love and live for with people who share the exact same dream. Vision. It has me thinking like, yeah, I would gladly die chasing this dream with everything I have, rather than never chase it at all and play it safe and stay trapped in my own mind, wondering what my life could have been. I hope to make more videos like this where I speak because they are really like therapy for me and they help me get my mind off things. And hopefully some people can be moved by what I am actually saying. I would also like to say that I think education is extremely important and plays a huge role in bringing success into your life, and that knowledge is power. The best thing in life is to always have a backup plan, and think about this. What if something goes wrong? And it is something that every role model I look up to tries to teach. But I feel like education will always be there for me to come back to, whether I am 20, 25, 40, or whatever. And I think that I have an amazing idea, vision, passion, and drive right now at my peak that I am able to use, which makes me feel like I am throwing it away if I do not chase it. And the biggest response I have been getting lately is, what if it fails? Which, what if it fails? But that is the whole point of taking a chance on things like startup companies or entrepreneurship. It is unbelievably high risk, like what if I get hit by a car? What if I lose my wallet? Or better yet, what if this works? It is easy to be negative or closed-minded, but I think it is easier to be hopeful and open-minded. And please do yourself a favor, which is a separate topic for another time, but try to surround yourself with people who bring and spread positivity and good vibes. You will notice the huge effect that it has on your life. Starting your own business or being self-employed, even though it is better in my opinion, does not exactly require any kind of diploma or degree. And I think that with a proper business plan and with the drive that people like you who are watching this video give me, I feel like I can do anything. If you are still listening, I love you. Much respect. That is real loyalty right there. Nevertheless, this has been me. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, and goodbye. I have failed a lot. I failed at funny things. I failed a key primary school test 2 times, and I failed like 3 times for middle school. For 3 years I tried to get into universities, so I applied for jobs 30 times. I got rejected. I went to the police. They said, "No, you are not good." I even went to KFC. When KFC came to China, came to my city, I applied 24 people went for the job. 23 people were accepted. I was the only one not accepted. And we went for police 5 people. 4 of them were accepted. I was only one who did not get in. So to me, being turned down, being rejected, oh, by the way, I told you that I applied to Harvard 10 times and got rejected. I knew I would be rejected. I just wanted to see, and they are sorry now. One of the things you have to understand, my friend, is that you are supposed to fail. You are supposed to fail because failure is the step that leads to success. Oh. Need the real reason. Why? Because failure is an experience that gives you wisdom, and that wisdom finally makes you a stronger version of yourself. Maybe guidet I do not know, but do is quit. Talk to your professor. I am not 100% sure, but I know that you cannot quit. Just because you fail does not make you a failure. Another one of these classic stories is about Thomas Edison, right? When a reporter asked him, what was it like? How did you feel about failing 1,000 times? And he said, no, I did not fail 1,000 times. I just found 1,000 different ways that it was not going to work. And that is what is happening with you. But every time he found a way that did not work, he was adding to his journey. He was growing stronger. He learned something, discovered something. You are discovering something about yourself. And you are building your character every time you get up and try something, move towards something. Even if you do not get the thing, it is not about the thing. It is not about making the basketball team. It is not about making $1 million, and it is not about the light bulb. It is about what you learned along the way, who you become along the way. And you are on the journey. Guess what? The journey is hard. The journey is full of failure, and that is why most people do not do it. Most people are not willing to get on that journey because they are afraid to fail. You, my friend, have failed. Congratulations. It is the greatest thing that ever happened to you because it shows that you are alive. It shows that you did something, and it shows that you are growing stronger. Now go and fail again. I hope you guys who watch these videos, I hope you fail 1,000 times. Keep going out there and failing. You know what that means? Every time you fail, it means something to me. It tells me that you are doing something. See, a lot of people, because they do not want to make any mistakes, that takes us to the next level. A lot of people do not want to fail. They fear failure, fear success, and guess what else? They fear the unknown. You know what Winston Churchill said about courage, Pat? He said courage is the ability to go from failure to failure without losing excitement. So you want to hold on to your dream with courage and not lose your excitement. There was a guy in Los Angeles all over the front page of the newspaper. He had just passed the bar after taking it 48 times. He had more than enough reason and excuses not to take it. His son has a law firm. He could have been a legal assistant, a clerk, and people used to laugh at this guy. He was a joke to them. People will do that to you. People talk about John Kennedy Jr. failing the bar. Did you read in the newspaper that he passed? I did not see that. But did they make as big a deal about him passing as they did when he failed? No. You know why? People like to see you fail. They like to see that. People are like that. I do not know why it is set up like that. I was on the expressway. Traffic was backed up. You know what was happening? It was an accident, but people pulled over to the side, got out of their cars, and went to look to see someone else's suffering. That is why talk shows are so popular. Some people like to hear about other people's pain. They get caught up in that. Then they make it bigger in their own life because that is all they focus on. The person who decides, it does not matter how many times I fail, I am going to chase it with courage. I do not care what people say. I do not care what they think. This is something I want. This gives my life meaning and value. And you keep reminding yourself after every defeat, after every setback, every time you get knocked down. I have a saying. If life knocks you down, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. See, a lot of people stop because of failure. They stop believing. Let me share something with you. You will fail your way to success. Yes, 8 out of 10 millionaires have gone bankrupt with money. You will fail your way too. Success. It does not matter how many times you fail. It does not matter how many times people tell you that you cannot do it. It does not matter if you do not have a dime in the bank. You will fail your way to success. There is something about the way we see success that causes one of the greatest tragedies of our time. And that is the belief that successful people, the ones at the top of their game, got there because of talent, that destiny carried them to the finish line, and that is wrong. It is wrong because it takes the journey, the struggle, the scratching and clawing that it took to get to the top of the mountain, and throws it out the window. It completely takes away what matters most in the real world, the one we are living in. It does not matter who you are never promised a result. Victory is the product of the fight. The biggest favor you can ever do for yourself as you move through life's ups and downs, through the good and the bad, when things get hard, is know that you are going through what every successful person, every champion, every inventor has gone through in all of human history. Struggle is beautiful. It is a sign that you are in the middle of what separates greatness from average. It is a necessary step, and it is the most important step you will ever take, because 99% of people cannot see past it. Right? The world sees struggle, sees hardship as the time to pack it up, walk away, and be scared. But the best I am telling you they look at struggle in a different way. Just like you cannot get fit without blood, sweat, and tears in the gym, you cannot make deals without the grind. You cannot make things happen if you do not move forward when facing hard times. When the word no is staring you in the face, it is all part of the process. Winners keep walking. If you want something badly enough, you know that being uncomfortable is one part of it. If you want to be the best, your mindset has to match the best. Right? Let others focus on the tip of the iceberg. You know, excellence is in everything under the surface, in what cannot be seen. So take mediocrity and turn it into excellence. Take what is yours and hold it up for the world to see. Because what hurts now in the present is the very same thing that will change your life later on.